Welcome to That Didn't work.
That didn't work.
Welcome to Urban Stars. I'm your GM and your host, Percy.
And I'm Mike, and I'm playing a Nemoidian by the name of Udel Ilvi.
I'm Daniel. I'm playing a human by the name of Caltane.
Howdy, I'm Rick, and I'll be playing a Verpine named Kuklik.
And I'm Jason, playing a human named Lukia, also known as Zerial Benassi Dinduptaniel.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to Urban Stars. When last we left off, we made it back to Taris, finally. When you all, aka the crew of the Rusty Sea Bucket, aka the Starship Enema, aka the Shameless Plug, which is now a derelict spacecraft on some unknown world that will probably never be seen again because you guys are in a special, Jedi ship.
Centuries old Jedi ship.
Centuries old Jedi ship. You guys last met up with an ancient master of the Force who had been essentially chained by the Force to the power conduits of Chu and Thor, a very, very old Jedi training cruiser. You freed him Udel freed him with the help of Dantoon and Lukia.
Sure did help.
You sure did help. Quite a bit. And you guys made it all the way back to Taris in this new vessel, only to see smoke rising from the Lula Lang fighting pits. And that's where we'll start our story today. As you hover over the atmosphere of Taris, you see smoke rising from the Lula Lang fighting pit, almost as if I just said that in the recap. That's the first thing you notice. The second thing is the empty space around you. As you look below and around, there's no blockade. No evidence that the Empire has even been here, save for one lone Star Destroyer resting amidst the leftover rubble of the upper city. What do you do?
Resting, like on the ground?
Like it crashed into, yes.
Crashed or parked itself?
Crashed.
Crashed.
I can see why y'all wanted to get back here so fast. It doesn't look like they can do much without y'all.
I have no idea what happened here. This does not look good at all. Do we see people moving about?
You're in space.
Oh, we're still in space. Okay.
So no.
Okay. So, okay.
Like the Star Destroyer, you can kind of make out, but it's definitely...
the Star Destroyer is big, so big that you can see the details of it from atmosphere.
I can use my macro binoculars.
You can. You could use your macro binoculars if you would like to.
I use my macro binoculars to see if I can make out anything.
All right.
Are you piloting as well?
Yes. Well, there's not a lot of piloting that's going on right now.
Doesn't he have to use two hands, to control the thing? So he'd have to have someone put the binoculars right here.
Dark shadow. I have to manipulate her finely and delicately.
Lukia, should we risk calling Lugnug?
Honestly, I think I'm more surprised that there would be a complement of ties or something else besides just...
Well, you haven't really perceived. This is what you immediately notice.
Right, but you would think that there would be TIE fighters and other sorts.
There might be.
Yeah.
Like I said, nobody's perceived. This is what you It's like when you snap a glance.
Okay.
This is first notice. Nobody's seen any details of what might be going on right now. And TIE fighters are small enough that you...
Yeah, no,
they would look like ants scurrying over the
I thought we
surface.
had maybe a time to assimilate the facts.
That's what I'm asking is, what do you want to do? This is what you see. What do you want to do?
I would definitely be looking around to figure out what's going on.
And you're also doing that with the macro binoculars?
Yes.
Excellent. So you guys make your perception checks. Kuklik, I believe your macro binoculars give you a boost or two. At least one.
Yeah, we'll see. I'd have to dig it up, but we'll say 1 boost. Okay.
And I'm
What's the difficulty on the perception?
Difficulty on the perception check is going to be hard. So 3 purples.
Cool.
And I'm going to try and key in the frequency for like Lugnug's channels and the resistance channels. Yes.
You want to roll some computers for that?
Sure.
It'll be average because you guys have some knowledge of what those channels might be.
Success, triumph, and a threat.
Excellent.
It's a good way to start.
Yeah, let's see what Lucia rolls as well. Udell, how did you do? On
2
your roll?
successes.
2 successes, excellent.
Just a success and a advantage.
Awesome. So, Kuklik and Lucia, you guys look on. Kuklik, you're looking for more details in specific locations with the macro binoculars. Lucia, I'm going to say you're kind of surveying the overall
Definitely.
horizon of the planet from what you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Lucia, you do see about 9 ties separated into 3 different squadrons, kind of patrolling about. But that's all you can see. So there is some sort of Imperial presence still going on. There aren't any other vessels in the sky, nothing leaving Taris, nothing coming in, and no large Imperial vessels still here. So something funky is going on with whatever's happening. Click. What you see is a massive battle taking place. Wherever you point the macro binoculars to, that word is going to be real hard for me to say apparently. Wherever you point the macro binoculars, you're seeing large-scale fighting between the citizens of Taris and the stormtroopers.
Okay. Now, my triumph. Could I see where our previous base was and anything going on?
Yes.
I'm looking for a landing spot, too.
The entrance to the caverns has been crumbled in.
Is there fighting going on around it?
Not that you can see, not immediately around that.
Do I think I could land there?
There, probably. I'll say with your triumph, it's a safe landing zone.
Okay.
At least for the moment.
Do we know what stealth properties this ship has? Because it was all gray. I mean, it seemed to be...
I mean, it's built for stealth. I think because of the nature of the ship, it is a force power, like some kind of strange prototype in that direction. I think whatever you'll be able to find out about Dark Shadow, it's going to be kind of from coaxing and conversation, kind of like how you did last time. It's not. It's like an AI. It's like the ship itself is a droid.
Right. Does she have a name? Do you have a name?
Dark Shadow. We talked
Dark
about
Shadow.
this.
Okay. That's the name of the ship. I didn't know the computer would have.
Yes.
I guess Dark Shadow.
Yeah. So before we move forward with that, though, let's do Mike's check over here with Udell trying to access Lugnug on the comm. So you kind of flip through different comm channels, asking for people that you know. You ask for Lugnug. You ask for Darrett. You ask for kind of going through the list of maybe even leadership in Lugnug's retinue, and eventually you kind of run out of them, and you do try to contact the Baron, and you're able to get through. What do you say? Like, as you're kind of going through each of these channels, what are you saying to kind of check for people? Is there a particular, code word you would use? How do you establish communication?
Oh, good question.
I know.
I think what I'd say is, this is the crew of the Rusty Sea Bucket. I know our transponder is going to come in different, but this is the crew of the Rusty Sea Bucket. What's going on down there? Because only people that should know that particular ship name were all associated.
Sure, and you hear a Rusty Sea Bucket. We thought you were all goners. Where are you?
Who's on this channel?
This is the Baron, you twit! What are you doing? We've been waiting for you for weeks!
We had to get you an eye patch. It cost Frank his life.
We were looking for headlight fluid.
And elbow grease.
It cost Frank his life.
I needed a box of grid squares.
Okay, so yeah, how do you...
I'm gonna respond with: we had an incident, and some creature pulled us into a hyperspace jump that we didn't know where we were at. So the first opportunity we got to get a ship, we came back.
Well, excellent. Meet us at Lula Lake as quickly as you can.
What's going on down there?
We're fighting!
Lula Lang is in ruins.
Not yet! Come on, Kuklik! Some of your family's on their way too.
Okay. Would I see a landing zone near Lula Lang?
Not a safe one, but I mean, there's clear space where you can bring a vessel down.
Okay.
Also, we're going to establish this. The Dark Shadow has 2 single-person kind of like planetary vehicles attached, almost like cloud speeders that can detach but are not effective in space. Like they're not outfitted for space exploration. It's specifically planetary travel.
And they are single.
Yes, single person. They're intended to point A to point B only, not like long-term flight or anything like that. They're literally like quick jump vessels.
Now,
So
are they?
I'm gonna.
They're basically escape pods.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not armed or anything.
No,
like that.
they're not armed or anything like that. They're escape pods that you
So
can kind of
I'm
guide.
gonna kind of rip Kuklik's macro binoculars away from his face
Okay.
and point out the TIE fighters and like get us out of space, and I'm gonna take them and start looking around like the battleground, and probably once I find a spot, jump into one of those pods and take off, because I'm not going
Okay.
to Lula Lang because the Star Destroyer's down
Okay.
on the top level.
Or you're going straight for that?
After I take a look to see what's going on around the Star Destroyer.
Oh my gosh! What? Oh no! It's another one of those Pyrex things.
What's wrong with the ship now, Kuklik?
Dark Shadow. Have you eaten today?
Sorry, I'm a little gassy.
No, I just had a lot of rice.
Okay, cool. So, are you going to notify anybody that that's your plan?
I'll let Kuklik know that I'm making my way to one of the pods because I'm going to throw the macro binoculars
Okay,
back
so you
at
kind
him.
of look around and gauge, like, here's how you can land. I'm going to go for one of the pods.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What's the gun situation on the ship?
There are some.
I almost want to go out and look.
It sounds like
We
they're
don't
like-
have windows anymore.
It sounds like they're racing crotch rockets.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
All right, so
Those are the pods firing up.
I didn't know they had a pod race today.
oh man, come on. All right,
Swoop bikes. Swoop bikes.
so you head in immediately for one of the pods,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, do you just let him
Yeah.
do it? Okay, cool. So you peace out. No words. You just say, here's how you land. I'm going for one of the pods.
Dark Shadow, one of your pods is fixing to detach.
Well, I let him know that I'm making my way to the Star Destroyer.
Okay, so you do tell them where you're going.
Yeah. I mean, just, I've got to deal with family matters, and I think that will explain it well enough.
Sure. Yeah, okay. All right, so you get into one of those pods and go ahead and ready a piloting planetary check.
Okay.
By chance, how big are these pods per se? You said they were like, let's say if someone was coincidentally trying to take a nap in one of them beforehand, and would someone be able to notice him taking a nap in them?
Well, there are 2 pods.
It's a 50-50 shot.
I mean, they are like one-seaters, so
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, they
somebody
would
would
notice.
certainly
All right.
notice.
All right, never mind then.
So do you wanna like flip a coin to see if that's the pod Lukia goes to?
I mean, I'll roll a d10, and if I get...
Sure.
All right, cool. Yeah, evens. Roll one of those d10s there, Jacob, and or Daniel, or Jason. Somebody roll one stupid d10. Evens, he's there. Odds, he's not.
Okay, well, he's there.
Okay.
All right, I'm
So,
straight up napping in the pod he opens.
You move toward this escape pod, essentially, but temporary land vehicle.
Yeah.
And you open the hatch, and you see the Rakatan friend that you've made, and you've barely gotten to know because you keep catching him napping in strange spaces on this ship. He hasn't taken to space super well. It's kind of like a seasickness thing.
Yeah. What's the difficulty on that piloting?
Well, let's roleplay you finding a strange alien in the cockpit first.
Well, is the other one, like, nearby? Would I have...
It's on the other side. They're kind of, like, docked on opposite ends of the ship. So, yeah, so you open that up, and Dan, and I imagine you get startled by that.
Oh, no, he didn't even... It didn't even...
Well, it's like a hiss of airlock coming out.
I'd still like to think that he slept through that. Yeah, just... and then...
And you're still sleeping, okay?
Yeah. What's your brawn? Just out of curiosity?
Probably not that much.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna, like, pick him up by the shoulder and throw him out. Like, just lift him out of the chair as long as he's not strapped in.
Okay. Sounds fun. So that'll be a hard check.
Rolling.
And athletics.
Brawl?
Athletics.
Okay, athletics.
You're not trying to hurt him, are you?
No. And difficulty, you said hard?
Hard, yep. Equal to his brawn.
Those dice rolled right back into place.
Yep,
They did.
This one.
Okay. Well,
We know we're not wanted.
I'm unsuccessful,
Oh, you hit his head.
but I had 2 advantage. So maybe I just jostle him awake is what it ends up more coming
So
across at.
you try to pull him out, but he's actually strapped himself into the seatbelt.
Yeah. More or less.
Sure that he
Yeah.
can move around.
He didn't see the lap belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you yank him as if to throw him, and you do certainly wake him up.
Yeah.
The buckle rides up the wrong spot.
He loses
Yeah.
his lunch.
What are you doing in my room?
Your room's somewhere else. I need this. Get out.
This is where Click told me to sleep.
Well, that would make the most sense, but you know there's another one across the ship. Why don't you go to that one?
But I claimed this one.
So that I go in a huff off to the other one.
He knows he can't go against him.
We haven't done a fight scene the entire time we've been playing Star Wars, and I finally want you guys to do a fight scene, and now you're all goofy.
Except I'm being goofy. Like, why would I
No, I know it's fun,
intentionally try to like?
Whereabouts is the ship currently positioned? Over the battlefield-ish, I guess.
but It's just over it. Taris is one large city,
Okay.
so you're over the city.
It's like Coruscant, so it's a massive planetary city.
Yes.
Where in relation to the Star Destroyer?
I mean, you guys are
Still in orbit. So
you're still in orbit.
And I would be angling down towards...
Yeah, so you're on your way into the atmosphere. Are you going to Lula Lang, or are you going to the old base?
Well, since he told us to go to Lula Lang, and I don't really see much going on at the old base, I'm going to head towards Lula Lang.
Okay, awesome.
Baron, we are on our way.
Well, I can't wait until you get here.
Are Galak and Callista with you?
No! They should be on their way soon, though.
Are they back at the base?
No!
Are you okay? You sound like you might be hurt.
I'm having the most fun I've had in years.
and probably chucking explosives too.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, he's a demolitionist.
Yeah.
He's for sure. He's like tossing grenades like a flower girl.
I was unaware that flower girls toss grenades.
They toss flowers. He's tossing the grenades as if they're flowers.
Don't
That-
hire him to be a flower.
That is a
girl.
wedding I would like to attend.
Live rounds.
I'll sit in the back row so I can watch.
He'd be the first to go as she walks down the aisle, though.
Swat. Alley-oop.
Back at you.
All right.
Okay, so I'm
Now I've got a picture of this bald Baron with an eye patch and pigtails. It's great.
In a little flowery dress with a
Yeah,
little basket
exactly.
of like thermal detonators.
Yeah,
Little wicker
please,
basket.
please, can we have that character art, please?
okay. So the ship has guns.
The ship
Do
has
I think I
guns.
could do a strafing run on something with this ship, or do you have all that?
That's definitely possible.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and do Lucia's piloting check real quick. As you guys enter the atmosphere and you're finally safe to, like, you kind of get the green light on
Yeah.
the ship of, we can now breathe.
Yep. So, what's the
So,
difficulty?
piloting planetary, you've never been in a vessel like this. It is still a force-powered deal, so you're going to use your force dice.
Okay.
How many?
Just one.
There you go.
Awesome. And the difficulty, because it's something you've never done before and never used before, I think let's do... How is Lucia's emotional state right now?
Probably bordering on the fringe of angry, but also frustrated and kind of like tense, ready for action. Kind of there's that sense of calm from the training and other things, but it's also being counterbalanced by a lot of raw,
Okay.
unfiltered emotions.
So let's hold that piloting check to the side real quick and let's do a discipline check first.
Okay, that works.
And that discipline check is going to be 2 reds.
All right. Make sure. Force die with the discipline or not?
No.
Okay. Right. Oops.
So while he's making this check, Kuklik, I think you would probably get the sense that something is going on with your siblings. The Baron is being kind of vague about what their role is right now. And I think if you wanted to do kind of a thing where you reach out with your antennae
Okay.
to try to do something with that, I think that would be that would make a ton of sense to me.
Okay, and they would know the frequencies I'm on too, so they could program.
Well, don't forget,
Well, I think
Callist doesn't have his antennae anymore.
Well, no, neither one of them. Neither one of them do.
so. I think what you
But
would
they could-
probably do is kind of cycle through the types of frequencies that your people use in general,
Right.
to see if you can get in touch with them. And I think computers make sense to me for that. Would that make sense to you? It's something with your body, so it's like I'm not really sure
Xenology.
how. Maybe knowledge, xenology.
Well, intelligence and probably computers, I would think.
Yeah, I think that works for me. Just thinking about it from a mechanical perspective.
And
So
I would not think it would be hard because I know all the frequencies.
I think the difficulty that comes from it'll be average check, but I'm going to upgrade it 1 because of not with another yellow, with replace a yellow or purple, replace purple with a red. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I want to do that because of the tension of the moment and the uncertainty of where they are.
And
So
the
it's
fact
like
they're piloting too.
So it's like you're kind of
And
cycling
looking
through
through
all
my
these
macro
things.
binoculars.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go ahead and
Doing
roll
too
that.
much.
And
Whoa.
yeah, while you look at that, Lucia, how did
Successful.
your discipline check go?
Just
successful?
Yep.
Perfect. So then your check for piloting is just going to be hard.
Okay.
And that's just simply because it's a vessel you've never used before.
Perfect.
Don't forget the force die.
Oh, right. Oof. 2 light side pips. How do you want to do success failure? Because right now I'm sitting on 1 fail pip and 2 threat.
So,
But I've got 2 light side pips.
yeah, the light side you can use to change failure and threat to positive.
Okay.
So you change entirely. Not like it cancels it out, but you literally change failure to success.
Okay. So I am
Or
6.
threat to advantage.
Okay. Oh, it's either or?
Well, with each pip, yes.
Okay. So I will just be successful with 2 threat then.
Okay, sounds good to me. Yeah, so you are definitely feeling the anxiety of what's about to happen, of kind of the...
Oh no, I take that back. It will be one threat.
Okay, that's fine too. I think that doesn't really change my narrative, but maybe a little.
I mean, it may just give me one strain as opposed to the two.
Exactly, and that's mechanically what it's going to do, but you kind of feel this mounting tension and frustration and anger, and as you kind of slip your hands into the interfacing nodules of this vessel, you feel the force kind of sweep over you with positive energy and peace, and not understanding, but almost like this is a moment you were built for.
Right.
And you release the latches, and you've connected with this vessel.
Almost like I'm back on my swoop bike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. With limited amounts of fuel, but yes.
But you get what I'm... Yeah.
Yes. So, and it's funny to me that you, like, narratively have said you were in a swoop gang and in, like, the leadership of it, but you have no piloting planetary skill. That's interesting to me.
Well, mainly because it wasn't a career skill, so I
Yeah,
didn't
sure, I get you.
want to dump the extra XP just to raise that.
It's just funny.
Yeah. Well, I had piloting space.
Sure. So you release the lander and take off toward the Star Destroyer. Meanwhile, Kuklik, you cycle through all of these channels. How did your roll go?
4 success, 1 advantage.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're cycling through, Kuklik, Galak, come in, and eventually you hear kind of a squeak, which usually like signifies something has connected with your antennae, and you hear on the other end. What do you have, like a last name, or is it just Kuklik? You're just known as Kuklik.
Yeah. The K is our basically a last name.
Okay.
So it's Kuklik, Kalist, Galak.
Okay. That's interesting. That's good to know. Exploratory pilot Kuklik.
Galak, is that you?
No, this is. Now I'm like nervous about making up names for these guys.
Just a consonant.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. I am. You know me as Squadron Pilot Salik.
Salik, I believe we trained together.
Yes, we did, Kuklik. It is good to hear from you. Galak and Kalist said you were missing.
No, I was never missing. I was on. Well, that's another story.
I was never missing. I always knew where I was.
What are you doing? What are you doing here on Taris?
We're not there yet. We're on our way.
Oh, that is good to know. Oh, we are on our way?
Yes, I'm bringing a squadron of 10 of our best pilots.
Oh, that is fantastic. Have you had communications with Galak?
Of course. He's in the ship behind me.
Oh my gosh. A lot has happened. We are just above Taris. Should we wait for you? But they are in trouble. How far are you away?
We will be there in less than an hour.
A lot can happen in an hour.
It can. We will make as much haste as possible. Stay safe, Kuklik. We'll be there soon.
May the light of Belisha be upon you.
And on you as well.
Okay.
And you can keep talking to them if you want, but I don't want to keep going.
No, I know. And I would probably talk their ear off. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have so much to tell you. I was on Ricotta Prime.
And that's when the Star Wars panic happens. You just hear like the C-3PO chirping as the screen writes.
Comb the desert.
We ain't found.
So who had? So, guys, who here has gunnery skills in heavy weapons? I don't know if our friend here will be able to fit in the turrets.
I can always fit.
Are you talking about Igor? You just said our friend here.
Is he exactly your friend?
And what is his gunner seat? Is it like the Millennium Falcon gunner seat, or is it just a seat next to him on a different console?
So you see labels that point toward a gunner's area, and you guys have kind
Flashing
of
neon sign.
Yeah.
Gutter seat.
I like to think that it's just laminated onto the thing, and someone just taped it there. It's just like, this is the way to the gunner seat.
Nice.
And then he gets over there and it's all force activated.
Well, you guys have kind of tried to map out as much of Dark Shadow as you could. With
Oh,
it
I
being,
see what the labels are. Did we have a label maker?
No, no. This label was already there.
I have one in my utility belt.
That's fine. Well, no, because you don't have the talent. You've got an empty utility belt still. Have had since we started.
I
He's got
know.
all the wrong labels.
He's got, well, this one says toilet.
And
Puts it on the gunner seat.
the Jedi Master is still with us, right?
Yes, he is, and so he's been able to show you around, sort of. And he had pointed to, like, this is where our weapons on the ship are kept. But it just kind of was a small, narrow tube that led down. And so nobody's really explored it. It's not impossible for Igor to fit through it, but it's a tight squeeze.
I mean, if it would be any sort of athletics-related check, I could probably make it.
It wouldn't really be a check. It's just kind of a claustrophobia thing.
Sure.
Just stick your arm
I'm a
out the
droid, I don't
window.
really have
He's a
much, but
droid.
If I
Does he
can
really
physically
have-
get in,
That- yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Cool. So you're going to head to that direction.
Yes.
Awesome. You kind of... You do get stuck at one point, and you just decide to, like, hands off the ladder and fall the rest of the way, which isn't very far.
Mhm.
Not far enough for you to take any damage. And you kind of get into this space that you're almost in a ball.
Okay.
There is a seat that you're able to take, and there are two controls that they look kind of like orbs. They
I get interface with.
twist.
Just shoot it.
Yeah,
Honestly, I could probably
that's
just
what you
replace
see.
the ship's gun with my gun. It would do more damage. No.
That's what you see.
Okay, I'm gonna start touching the orbs.
It's
See what they do.
It's an orgasmatron.
Hey, I have an intelligence of 1 here. This is what I'm gonna do. I see the name gun, and I'm gonna touch it.
They initially don't do anything.
You just say, hello, gun.
Oh, hi, gun. Nice to meet you.
I'm Igor.
So initially, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't do
Good
anything.
interface.
What about
I've come
what
to
about after initially?
You're kind of down there for a little while, and you're trying to turn all of this stuff, and none of it is really responding to you.
Okay. Hey guys, I might need some help in here.
I'll run down.
Okay.
Igor, those controls may be force sensitive. They may not respond to you.
I can use a lot of force though.
That's not the type of force we're talking about.
All right. So as you guys are having that conversation, Udell is climbing down the ladder toward you, and Udell, as you enter the room, it just kind of all lights up purple and iridescent blue lights, just kind of spinning around, and then they eventually all kind of coalesce to the in front of your face, and wherever you turn on the ball, they kind of follow you.
Okay.
Udell, are you having any luck down there?
I think it'll work for me. I think Igor needs to go find something else to do.
Igor's just standing
He
there.
could just stick his arm out the airlock where
Not why I'm in here.
Well, I think
where
what
Lukia left.
I think what Igor could do in this situation, if you want to stay on the ship and use the guns like that, is you can provide assistance. So it's kind of like Udell and Igor are in tandem doing this, because I don't think you have any
Nope.
gunnery or much agility.
Nope.
So would I be rolling my actual rolls?
So-
or
You got a whole lot of force die.
You would Udell would get to replace one of his sets of dice with one of yours, essentially. And so it's like it looks like Udell sits in the seat and you guide him, like shoot there, do this, hit the button now. And so like that's kind of how that sort of plays out.
Okay.
You could interface with his arms and then control his arms.
Oh, that's weird.
Did we though?
It is for cotton technology.
It is. I probably could.
He might have some
If
force.
you guys
power
want to
color
play
here.
it that way, we'll make it happen.
Let's do it.
He actually might have some force talent since he is Rakatan.
Well, no, we talked about that, and that
Yeah, no.
it was like before they started using force and
Oh,
their
okay,
technology was when I was made.
Okay.
But if
Okay.
we bring that power cell down here, we can really get
Make this a
going.
party.
You are connected to that
Me,
powder
Gun,
cell.
Odell.
I'm just saying, we could get some. I can make some new guns for this ship, and I could.
We'll have little guns running around the ship.
Well, maybe that's what you should do.
So, okay, we'll narratively say that you assist Udell by interfacing with his arm.
I just like to imagine him just.
How does that look?
So he's like sitting in the seat, and I'm like behind him, and I'm bigger than
So
him.
giving him a back rub?
And, like, I like just put my hands like on his shoulders, and like little tendrils have come out and just woven my way through his arms. I'm just like sitting there caressing his arms.
I like how he said he put both of his arms on his shoulders, but one of his arms is a giant cannon, so he just put a cannon next to his ear.
I've never had two arms before. This is so weird. I can hold two
Queen
things at
Igor
once.
preparing for interfacing. Prepare yourself, Udo.
Docking sequence initiated.
If the communication port pops out of his pants, we got a problem.
Udell, I think he's trying to interface with him.
Igor, are you happy to see me? Or
Prepare for interface.
And then you got the humping robot from Robot Chicken.
Oh gosh. Okay, cool.
I'm
So
going to prepare to interface from behind.
interfaced via back rub.
Okay.
I'm very into that.
Let's just drop him on the planet.
Very funny.
Well, that was my original thought. Was as soon as I'm close enough to the ground, just Rambo out of the side of the plane. And,
it's better
or
that
the
that
ship.
happens than with his one intelligence he tries to climb into my lap to do everything.
I just like I see this scene playing out of like he watches Udell sit down and he's like as much jealousy as a droid can feel, like looking at you in the seat, and then notices he's got Rakatan arms.
Just like slides over. Hey, buddy, how are you doing?
Does the old
When he
movie
notices
theater
the
trick on you?
Yawns and puts a cannon over his shoulder.
I would like to use Unleash.
Alright, this has been going on long enough. Let's
So, and when
move forward.
it's going to really be bad when they climb out of the hole and they're both smoking cigarettes, you know?
All right.
Alright, as you guys are prepared, you're now in the orb, and you don't. It's very Ender's Game-ish, if that makes sense. You're in this room, but you're not like attached to the gun. You instead get to move whatever firepower the ship has around a track that's on the outside of the ship, and you kind of are looking basically through the barrel to see what it sees. So you're very limited in what you can see. It's going to add 2 setbacks to any shooting you do from this vessel. But it looks really cool, so it's fine.
So it's form over function.
Exactly. Well, if you were a trained Jedi doing this, like from a space of strong force sensitivity, who you know how to do this, it actually is like a preventative measure to prevent other people from being able to grab these vessels and use them well.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it kind of is.
You
Yes,
made
it's
that
really
up on the
difficult.
spot, didn't you?
I did, very much so. I'm very, stop telling my secrets.
It sounded so good, too. Yeah.
I was like, this sounds cool to me. Why? Why do I want it? Why does it make sense? I've got to make a logical connection in the world.
Because in your next Force and Destiny game, you're going to make that happen.
Shh, it already did. Just wait. All right. So that's what you guys are doing. Y'all are looking around for these ties as you guys swoop down toward the ground. Now, I will say, if you take a turn to make a perception check first, you can take away one of those setbacks.
Okay.
Per success rolled. I'll say that. Per success rolled.
Can they aim, or would that be like aimed?
Aren't his eyes cybernetic?
You can aim.
Okay.
You can see through.
Yeah, aren't his eyes cybernetic through? Couldn't I just like take over his body and like fully?
Listen, there's already one being trying to take over Udell's body. Let's not add another one to the list.
If we roll a despair, he like somehow transfers from him to me and just
18 demons all vying for dominance.
I am Legion.
You got one hump in this ear, one hump in this ear.
You hear
I've got a
Dan
droid,
from the
a dead Rakatan.
Y'all need any help down there? The more the merrier.
No!
As you say that, Dantoon, Master Thum walks up next to you and puts his hand on your shoulder and says, we have other matters to attend to.
He's just gonna kind of blankly stare at the Jedi Master because he really has no clue what he's talking about. He's just glad to help.
Yes, I need...
Come to the back of my van. I thought about it for like 30 seconds about whether to say that or not.
And you decided it was still a good thing to say?
I'm the Grand Master of the Jedi Order. Now, if you just accompany me to my van, and I'll give you a free set of candy.
And we got this fan that goes doo-doo-doo-doo.
Oh, okay.
And what were you hoping for tonight?
Not this.
It's been 2 weeks since I got to do one of these. Come on, I gotta get it out, you know?
I'm gonna need...
my God. Put it back in, okay?
I'm going to need backup where I'm going.
I don't know if you've seen my skill set. I'm not too, yeah, I can help you.
Great. And he gets on one of the intercom systems and says, "Click. Can you land me and Dantoon near the space where your friend the Baron has requested our presence?"
Oh, I believe I can. That is the direction I am heading. I will set you down. Do you need to... Can you just sort of drift down there? I don't know what you Jedi can do. Or do you need
No, I will need you to land.
I will... Do I need to make a piloting check?
No.
Okay.
No, you just need to say that, yeah, you're going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
Awesome. Just like
to
an
the
anime.
Jedi Master. I'm gonna do it.
I think I can.
Interfacing, and just hear that from behind. It's the whole mess up with the ship.
All right,
I
so
take strain.
so as you guys approach closer and closer to the city proper, and you're now kind of in a range where you can see details of the fights without macro binoculars. You can see the TIEs flying around, providing air support to the Empire. Click, or not. Good night. I looked at Jason and said, "Good click." This is a rough night, guys. Lukia, you're nearly to the Star Destroyer at this point. You're kind of weaving in and out of buildings, and it's just kind of whizzing by. This thing is much faster than you thought it was going to be. As you guys are flying down there, we're going to go ahead and open into mass battle. So I'm going to have some objectives for you to achieve over this session and the next couple. That as you achieve them, things will happen, positive or negative, depending on how well you do them. And between basically each constructed round, I'm going to make a roll for the two armies that are fighting against each other. As things are added, like as the Verpine squadron gets into Tarisian space, it'll add help to that check. And you can even use things like your advantages and triumphs to say, like, hey, we hold this section off for extra time to give them more time to get here, that kind of stuff. Those types of things are available to you. Now, with each objective that you successfully complete, it'll get you one step closer to finishing the Battle of Taris. Does all of that make sense so far? All right. So how mass battles work is basically I have written out how many of each force there are. This is kind of an abstract more than a concrete number. And as we go, I'm going to roll checks to see how well they do. If at some point you want to go over the comms and kind of roll a leadership check to help your side out on that, you're able to do that as well. All right? Good. If you guys have any questions, because mass battle is not something we've really done, and we haven't done much like structured combat in this particular podcast either. So I imagine there will be a couple of questions as we go forward.
Do we want to go ahead and get our vigilance or cool dice pools?
Yes, you do. Yeah, everybody gets to roll. What is it?
Cool if you
It's
know
cool,
you're...
cool because you know you're in battle.
Yep.
Everybody roll cool.
Oh, that's not good. What are you talking about, Rick?
Oh, that's better than yours, I guess. Ooh.
ahead of you.
Oh,
That's not good. Of course, that depends on which side of the dice you're looking at. That was for the Jedi Master, right?
No. All right. Udell, how did you do on your cool check?
4 and 1.
Nice. 4 and 1. Dantoon.
2 and 1.
2 and 1. Lukia.
0-1.
0 and 1. Igor.
1-0.
1 and 0. Kaklik.
0 and 2.
0 and 2. All right. So we've got Verpine, Thum, and then player turn, the Moth, player turn, Empirico, player turn, player turn, player turn. You just kind of heard all the players that are involved in what's going on. Now, Dantoon, you and Thum are in charge of finding and holding down Empirico's forces at Lula Lang.
Alrighty.
That's your primary goal.
Yeah, I'm sure Dantoon can do this quite well.
Whatever that means, whatever, if there's like extra information about the scene you want to gain, make sure to let me know.
Okay.
Lukia, you of course are going head to head with the Moth. And Kaklik, Udell, and Igor, your goal is to get the Verpine safely into Tarizian space and effectively nullify the battlefield by A, destroying the TIE fighters, and B, providing full air support to the boots on the ground for the Tarizian citizens.
Okay.
So those are kind of the three objectives. Subvert or conquer Empirico. Do something with the mob.
Deal with daddy
Deal
issues.
with the mob. Deal with your daddy issues. And successfully halt the Empire's action. Until at least 2 of those 3 are finished, this battle is going to continue.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Make sense? And you guys can add you can add kind of sub points to that as you go. Like, I'm going to do this to help me get closer to this thing. But yeah, it'll just kind of naturally happen as you go. All right. So the Verpine turn is first. They're not here yet, so they're not going to come in. Now, Thum is still waiting for Click to land the ship to be able to act, so he's not going to go this round either. Now it's a player turn.
I was going to say, should we get in position to take out the air support?
Well, I was going to do a perception first on that to see where everything was.
Yeah, well, I think one of the primary things you need to do, Click, is get Thum and Dantoon to the
down.
surface.
Okay.
Now they can try to cram in that one-person vessel and try really hard to make it down safely.
Okay. I'm going to, I guess I'll land. All
Okay,
right.
cool.
Yeah, I
Easy.
guess me and Adele, just any ships that come into view of our barrel will
Yeah,
fire.
for sure. Cool. So you land and drop them off. The Moth is going to make a leadership check to lead some of the Imperial forces on the ground. Would anybody like to upgrade his leadership? I'm not going to tell you what he's saying because you can't hear it. But would anybody like to upgrade the difficulty of that? Maybe you're coming into the system has increased morale. So if you wanted to flip a light side point to add a red die to this, you
absolutely.
could.
Once they heard the Rusty Sea Bucket was back, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They're for sure very excited about you. Okay. I forget what's what.
X's are failures.
That's a despair.
No.
Isn't it? Oh, that's not
No.
No, it's 2 X's.
Okay. He fails and winds up with some advantage, which he's going to do to give... he's actually going to give an upgrade to Empirico when it comes to his turn. Now it's a player turn.
All right, I'm going to do the perception to see if I can pick out exactly where all the TIE fighters are while we're getting used to this.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and roll that perception check. It's if you want to find one squadron, it's going to be average, and it'll increase the difficulty for each other squadron you want to find. There are 3 total. So if you want to try to pinpoint all 3, it would be a daunting check.
Okay.
Would be 4 purple.
And would I be helping out at all with this?
Not with the perception.
I'm going to pinpoint all 3, and I'll flip to upgrade 1.
Okay. I think I will also flip to upgrade you.
Could I even just like lend a boost because I'm also looking?
Now
you have 3 points in perception.
You would have to use your turn to kind of say that you're doing that.
Okay.
Is that what you're doing?
I don't have my turn yet, so.
Yeah, he would have to go, and then like on your turn, then it would activate.
Those
are for shooting.
Those are for shooting.
Shooting.
So I was holding them to the side.
That's fine.
Just to make sure. Let's see. So I got that. All right. Well, that didn't go as well as I had once anticipated. That goes away. That goes away. That goes away. That goes away. Did I need to roll my force dice with this?
Yes, always.
Okay. What are you doing here? All right.
You've got 3 force dice to roll. I've got to mark dark side points.
2 dark side points, but I can re-roll with my second chances.
Yeah,
I got one. I got 1 point to use against it.
Okay.
So, and that's re-roll any die, right? The way you had described this.
Mm-hmm.
So that just becomes an advantage. Okay. All right. 1 failure and an advantage.
Okay. What do you want your advantage to be? You just don't find the ties.
I think that we're picking up radio communication so that we can identify that there are 3 squads.
Okay,
Can't see them, but I know that
confirmation. You've been able to confirm. Okay, I'm into that. All right. Next up will be Empirico's unit. I think you guys are close enough now. Well, no. Did you land? You landed. Yes.
I landed.
So you do see the Baron's forces and Empirico's gang fighting outside of the Colosseum, and you can assume pretty safely that Empirico is on the inside of that. I'm not going to make a check for what he does, but narratively he is gaining the upper hand on the inside there. Next is a player turn.
Do you want to go or do I?
I can't really do anything, so.
Well, you still technically have your turn, so.
I'll further interface with him. I mean,
You could do your perception in case he wants to try to when he goes.
Well,
to
during his turn, he'll need to like make that assist declaration to be able to loan him the dice.
could I just make my own perception check?
Yeah, sure.
Because it would be 2 yellows. I'll just try and identify one.
Okay, so just an average check.
1 or 2.
2.
Ooh.
That's triumph and success with 2 threat.
So that's 2 successes and a
All
triumph.
right, so you kind of because we've already established that like y'all are looking through the same barrel essentially, and Udell didn't spot them. You see like the tail end of one fly off to the left, like in the process of the looking, but you're not able to follow it because you don't really have full control of the controls.
Okay.
So you do kind of spot one as it goes. You know a direction, and it'll give you guys for sure a boost on your next perception check to find them.
Okay.
Now remember, you can shoot without perceiving, but the perceiving helps you
The
with the
negate.
shooting check.
And what is a triumph? Oh.
Yeah, what do you want your triumph to do?
I have no idea.
Spot something on the ground, or
Could I just have better control over the weaponry?
I don't think so because it's force-sensitive weaponry. You're kind of basically you're interfacing with your Dell's cybernetics is like kind of almost Matrix style downloading temporarily your abilities toward him.
It's a perception check, so you have to get. It has to be something that you see.
Yeah, or you could pass an upgrade technically too.
Yeah, I think I'll just pass an upgrade.
Okay, who do you want? Do you want to pass to anybody in particular, or just to the next check?
Next check.
Okay, cool. So another player turn. I think it's just Lukia and Dantoon left.
You haven't hit.
Yeah, he landed.
I landed.
He landed the
Okay,
ship.
so that was just his action. Okay, sorry. No roll involved, so I didn't realize that was the case.
Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
Why don't you and yeah.
Then, all right.
I mean, y'all are both going to go before anything else happens.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who goes first.
So I
What's
think
on second?
as of right now, one of the only things I can really do is just try to get some information about how this battle is what's taking place right now, so I can figure out what to do about it.
So I think your step is to get off the ship to start go forward.
Oh, I thought he already landed. That's why
he did land, but you guys haven't got off. We're kind of outside narrative time, and we're now in structured time, so everything's got to step by step go forward.
well, since he goes last and Thum goes 1st, could they combine their turn and get off together?
Sort of, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think
we can
you
get
can
off
open the
ship.
door and make a perception.
All right, yep. I'm gonna do just that. Make a perception check. So it's gonna be down and my cunning.
Okay,
Alright, what's
it'll be average, which is 2 purple.
Mhm.
And do you want to upgrade it?
No, I'm fine.
I will.
Okay.
Oof.
Alright. 2 failures and 2 advantages.
All right. What do you want to spend your advantages on? By the way, Igor, you took 2 strain for the 2 threat.
You're frustrated that you can't work this gun.
I can just, can I take a boost to my next turn with the 2 advantages?
You can.
Alright, well, I guess I'll just do that.
All right. Now, Lukia.
I'm going to try to land as close as I can, kind of power slide into the base of the Star Destroyer and jump out.
Into the hangar?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So describe exactly how you want to get out. So you're going to slide in, cockpit open, jump out, tuck and roll. Is that kind of what you're aiming for there?
Straight.
Is it from episode 3 when they just crashed and then they both flipped out of it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
Agility or athletics or coordination.
I think coordination makes more sense. And the difficulty is going to be
hard.
I'm going to say it's average with 2 setbacks because you don't really know what's in the hangar.
Works for me.
So you're kind of making this plan blind.
Yeah. She would. Totally.
Oh, for sure she would.
Well, it makes sense that she made it blind, but she made it blind very successfully. 4 threat, but 2 success.
Wow.
4 threat.
So you...
I rolled nothing but threat. So,
That's awesome.
You strain out all the time.
You do. So you kind of bring this vessel in right as the fuel gauge goes to the empty zone. And you skid into the hangar, sliding all the way toward the door, and you kind of leap out, and you're face to face with a squadron of just Imperial soldiers, not stormtroopers, just Imperial soldiers.
Basically, fleet logistic support type guys.
Yeah, they're kind of trying to assess damages to the ship right now.
Okay.
And so that's going to be your 4 strain.
Okay.
And now for the mass battle roll. Do you guys want to upgrade the check? I've got currently a boost and 4 green versus 4 purple, a red, and 2 setbacks.
I think we're
Yes.
probably good. Do you want to upgrade it?
Upgrade it. Well, I mean, let's play with the points this time.
Yeah.
We haven't been doing a whole lot of that lately.
All right. I think I won't upgrade this one. We'll see how it goes. It did not go super well.
Is that for us or for you?
Oh no, that's for the positive dice were your side of the battle.
Okay.
The negative dice were their side of the battle, and they did a lot of hurting to the good guys. You guys kind of see a series of explosions on the inside of Lulalang as you're taking off. Like I'll say, kind of narratively, Thum and Dantun both do get off of the ship. You close the door, and you're in the process of taking back off so that you can join the fray in the skies. And you see a series of explosions inside of Lulalang, and several bits of rubble fly overhead and toward you, and they kind of bounce off the ship itself, but you can tell it's a lot of damage being done on the inside there. Yeah, so that's kind of what you notice, but in general that means that the tide is shifting a little bit in the direction of the Empire, which makes sense. They have a bigger force, lots more people, a lot more variety of trained soldiers to be able to do all of this. And we'll go ahead and cut the session right there with that first mass battle roll, and we'll pick right back up next week. I hope you're enjoying this so far. It is very much more structured. I hope it's been goofy enough for you in between. Yeah, I hope you like what we're doing, and we'll see you guys next week. And until then, keep on adventuring.
Night.